Well, welcome to the New Media Show. This is episode 654. And tonight is going to be a very interesting conversation building a very human media business. It seems kind of interesting as increasingly we move into this AI driven world. Building a lasting media business is not just about content volume or automation or distribution. Ultimately, who is the consumer of the content? It's humans. And AI for discovery and future distribution, and really in that order currently. Now, AI is going to play a role in creating content, and I think that's kind of a different conversation tonight. But um, that human connection is still primary if you're a content creator and you want to build human trust, authenticity, and creating experiences people remember. And I've got Erin Diehl with me, who's going to bring a valuable perspective to her experience and in her podcasts, her live workshops, her speaking engagements, coaching, and her improv-based approach to communication and leadership that really holds attention. And I think that's the big thing. My name is Rob Greenlee, and I'm building a trust-based AI-enabled audio and video medium and community platform. I've got 24 years in radio, podcasting, and for many years on the video side too. I'm a 2017 Podcast Hall of Fame inductee, and I'm a chairperson of the Podcast Hall of Fame too, and host this show and Spoken Human show, which is a new project that I'm taking on. So, well, let's get into it. As AI becomes more embedded in content creation and communications, the real differentiator may not be speed or scale. AI content will scale. And how must humans adapt to this is kind of the backdrop of this conversation, but it's not really primary. It may be rooted in humanity, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. And its ability to make people feel seen, understood, energized, and connected. And I have Erin Diehl with me, and so I'm going to bring her up on the stage. Erin, thank you so much for being with me tonight. You host the Workday Playdate podcast and is a member of the Passion Struck Network. And it's great and the founder of Improve It, which we should talk about that name a little bit. And it may have a little bit of a dual meaning.
Yes.
It's great to have you on.
Yeah. Rob, okay, when you asked me, I was like, duh, of course I'm going to come on this show. You're awesome. When you're doing your own bio, I'm like, he's a baddie. Yes. Like you are you are who I aspire to be as a podcaster. So I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, I think you're way ahead of me on the human side. So I think it's not even a competition on that side. I can be a little dry. So you bring the flavor and the experiential type of an approach to this. And I strive for that myself. So I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I'll try.
You're doing awesome. You're doing great. And we're exactly where we're supposed to be. We need each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm grateful for you and for John Miles and Passion Struck. And I'm excited for all the things we're doing and all of the people we're able to reach. Really, it's an honor. So kudos to you. You're doing it. I'm just here. I'm just here living it.
Well, I was hoping to have you share with us kind of your bigger philosophy and how you're approaching your own content, how you're approaching your own community, and how you're building this truly authentic type of an approach based on, improv of sorts, right? Yeah. It's an interesting backdrop of how to think about what you're doing is that you're building connections, playfulness, in driving a lot of emotional intelligence and connections between humans based on those techniques. And how do you see that applying to creating media, do you think?
First of all, let me just say this. The traits of a great improviser make up the traits of a great human.
Right.
Empathy, listening, adaptability, give and take, Laughter, humor, right? All these things that when we think of the perfect human come to mind to me when I think about the traits of a great improviser. And truly, I will say that for me personally, improv has been the best teaching tool I could ever imagine. It has been the teaching tool that when I do this work, I am transformed. It's almost like therapy because you're experiencing what we're wanting to teach you in real time. It's exposure therapy to whatever skill we are teaching you. So for me, I am bringing humor. I'm bringing all these qualities of an improviser into my work. Improve It is an improv infused talent development company for the new generation of work. Without that tagline, we do professional development in corporate America. We've worked with Fortune 500 and 100, mom and pop shops, medium sized businesses, everything in between. But our goal is to help you find the highest version of yourself and that light, and then raise it by showing you what it feels like through improv. And so, as I'm a content, it's funny. I guess when I say content creator, I guess I've been doing it a while. So I guess I am one, but sometimes I don't say, I'm a content creator. That's like one of the hyphens, you know. But I'm a podcast host and I've been doing it
Yeah.
5 years and 6 years, 6 years in April.
So what inspired you to take this path? Was it something that was inherent in your just your philosophy about your own life, or did you see something changing in our culture and our society that kind of inspired you to move this direction?
With improv, you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just more of the raw kind of getting in the human experience, right?
So many things. So before I founded Improve It, I've had Improve It 11 years. Before that, I was in recruiting. Okay, never thought I would be in business development at a recruiting firm.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be Oprah, Rob. Okay, that's still like on the table. But when that didn't happen, I moved to Chicago, and through osmosis, I thought I will find Oprah. This is back when she had the show. So I started taking improv classes while recruiting and doing business development at this recruiting firm, and everything that I was doing in my classes, on stage, in my rehearsals, was spilling over into my day-to-day professional life. I was becoming a better listener. I was becoming more empathetic. I was thinking more quickly on my feet. I was just more present to conversations. And so this idea for Improve It came to me while I was working at this recruiting firm. And my boss at the time, I literally wrote a chapter about her in my book. Okay, she is legit the reason Improve It exists. She was like, you have to try this. You have to try to infuse improv into soft skills. You have to try it. And it just so happened that one of our clients at the time was something you might have heard of called United Airlines. And we were at dinner with our client and she said, tell Pam about your idea. And Pam was like, let's pilot it, pun intended, to my team. And she was the head of talent acquisition at United Airlines. She goes, create a workshop. We'll give you feedback. That was my first workshop ever. They gave me feedback. They did not pay me. I did another free workshop. And then they were like, okay, that's it. We're going to start hiring you. What's your rate? And that's when I was like, what? This is a thing. So
actually paid to do what you love. Is that what you're saying?
You can get paid to do this. So I knew that was 2014. I knew that this had legs. I knew it was bigger than me. It wasn't just me. I needed improvisers around me because improv is always done in an ensemble. And I have 17 facilitators now between New York, Chicago, LA. The last time we hired anyone was 2018. Most of them came to us in 2014 and 2016, and they've been with me ever since. And so that was what got it started. And then Rob, can I tell you something that I've been struggling with lately?
What's that?
Doubting myself. And I'm like,
yes.
When I was my naive young entrepreneur self, I was like, anything is possible. This will happen, or, I will die trying. Right.
Yeah.
And it happened. And when I doubt myself now at, Improve It's almost 12 years old.
Yeah.
Things stall. but I had this unwavering belief that it would work, and every time I'm in a room and we do the work that we do, I'm just so reminded because it
Yeah.
really is transformational, and that's what I mean, I bring it into every content piece that we do, every podcast. It humanizes things. It just brings us
Yeah.
back to this joy and this play that we lose as we grow. Can I say one more thing? And I know I'm rambling, but I just
No,
wanna
that's
add
fine.
to this.
Go right
Okay.
ahead.
I was just getting ready to come on the show, and I told you when I got here, there was multiple things happening. I have a 6-year-old son, a dog, all the things. My dog puked right before I came on, it was really fun. And then, before that, though, my son and his little friend were in my living room. My parents live here, which I'm very lucky, and they're retired, and they watch my son for me after school. He was putting on a show, and he was legit just, like, so unfiltered with his friend. They were putting on this performance. God knows what they were doing, but they were so immersed in play. They weren't judging themselves. They weren't judging each other. They were just in it. And I sat there from the stairs and I watched it for just a minute. I told my mom to record it, so I won't get to see it. I was so just enamored and looking at them and thinking to myself how beautiful it is that when we are 6, basically till age 8, we play, we don't judge. Life is joyful. Everything is an experiment. But we lose that because when we get after that age, we start to judge ourselves,
And
especially in our careers.
we start questioning ourselves just like what you said, we
Yep.
lose our focus because, life can be tough, I mean, you're picking up, feces, of
Mhm.
course.
Yes, I am. Yes, I
It's a
am.
humbling thing to be human, right?
Namaste. Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
So why does all this you think matter right now more than ever, or
Mm.
does it matter more than ever, do you think?
I think it's always mattered, but I think in this increasing technological age, we have to get back to center. We have to humanize the experience because, yes, there are gonna become positions that are automated.
Yeah.
Everyone will have a job. You just gotta create your new one.
Yeah.
There
Well,
you
that's
know?
the explosion that I'm seeing is everybody's having to create their own
Yep,
opportunities now. It's
and
not
you
like
can, you can,
well, you
and I
can. It
think
doesn't
that's
mean
part
it's easy. Yeah,
that's
right.
right, and I think and that's the thing, if it was easy, everyone would do it, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
and they're trying.
That's right, that's right. So, I do believe that right now, humanity, even though we're the most connected technologically that we've ever been, has a connection issue. I am I say this all the time. I have a talk now that I call Human Leadership in the Age of AI. I'm not an AI expert. I do use it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's super fascinating. However, I am a leadership expert and I'm a human. And I will tell you that as a human who leads people, what is never going away is empathy, trust, culture, and humanity. You need the humans to create the AI. You know what I'm saying? So I really do believe that it starts with us, that we are, it's almost like that saying, put on your own oxygen mask first. We have to program our own LLMs, our own, if we think of ourselves as an
We are
LLM,
LLMs, right?
yes,
And we've
yes,
been LLMs for
large
a long
language
time.
models, yeah, a long time. But we have to
Right.
I think of it like this, like our thoughts as humans or leaders or content creators or whoever we are, our thoughts are those inputs that we put
Mhm.
into everything. Our words are the prompts that we
Yeah.
give, and then that's the output that we give to the world are those actions, but they're all a product of each other. The inputs, the thoughts affect the prompts, the words, and all of that affects our
Mhm.
actions and outputs, which affects everyone around us.
Yep.
So it's so important. It's so we now more than ever, it's so important to focus on you and what you need as a human and how you can become the highest version of yourself
Mhm.
because it affects everything around you. It literally the thoughts you think affect the words that you say, which affects your actions, which is exactly what our LLMs are doing. They're taking our own words and prompts.
Right, they are, and we prompt others by our communication, and
Mhm.
that drives a particular psychological or emotional reaction,
That's it.
which could be very similar to what we experience with the AI personalities that are going to increasingly become our uh, our experience out there. So we're going to live in this world where a, AIs are going to have personalities too.
Mhm.
AIs are going to be able to do things for us, just like, you know, if you have employees or something like that, they would do things for us.
Yep.
These concepts of digital entities merging with the human stuff, it can be a little scary for people, but as you create content, and I mentioned this in the intro too, is that if you're a creator right now, you're really in the human media business. You're not
Yeah.
in the AI is really just a consumer of your content that can drive discovery and new audience, right? It's
Mhm.
kind of like a marketing engine, but today still it doesn't have its own ability to create very good content that really competes with humans.
Mhm.
So as you think about your platform and your show, how are you, do you think, going to evolve your platform to kind of accept this, this movement, and or are you just going to double down on the human aspect of it?
Such a good question. And, I work with all types of industries, all types of teams
Yeah,
and Improve It. This is literally on everyone's mind. There's not one industry that isn't thinking, am I far behind? Where do I need to go? What I'm going to double down on, Rob, is what has worked for me
is the
year over
authenticity
year.
of human experience. Okay.
Yes. Can I just take a step, just a little,
Yeah,
little back in
please.
time? 2020 was such an eye-opening experience for myself and team, and I'll tell you this, it was great. 2019, I came out of the 10,000 Small Business Goldman Sachs program with an 85-page growth plan ready to expand markets in person. We were, like, thriving. We were going to Charlotte and then Atlanta and then New York. It was all happening until there were no in-person events. There was no contingency plan for in-person events going away.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like this. We now know AI. Back then, COVID was never something that we had planned for, right? We were all surprised, we were all freaking out, we were all pivoting and truly we held on by the skin of our teeth for 2 years to keep this business alive. We didn't have a digital leg to stand on. By the way, I launched our podcast in April of 2020. So that was our first sort of digital thing. Everything else we had done before that was all in-person events. And so now, knowing that we have this opportunity with AI to reach more people, my goal is to really use AI to drive people to come in
mhm,
person. That is my goal because there is nothing, and this is what I learned, especially at a 2020. I do all types of virtual work, virtual workshops. I'm so grateful for that because we were able to go global because of that. I will say there is still nothing that beats the feeling of being together in person. What improv does to a room is it basically takes everyone on this journey together, and it's almost like you see people from reality television who become best friends because they went through a really crazy show together and nobody else can live through that experience. That's what I think a really great improv workshop does, or even an improv show. It takes you somewhere that you will never go again, and only the people in that room know what that felt like. It brings humans together on such an even playing field. You can have a CEO and an intern in the same room, and for those however many hours, they are all just one thing. They're just human. And of course, we know who the CEO is, but that CEO in that time frame is doing the exact same thing as that intern, and together they're seeing each other take the hypothetical masks off, not the, masks we wore in 2020, but the masks they wear as armor every single day, and it's
yeah.
so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, so how are your in-person workshops or events different than your podcast, or is there a strategy overlap there?
Yeah. So what we do for the podcast is let me just back this up. We use the podcast as an opportunity for people to get to know us. And oh, there she is. Hey,
I
there's
think
me.
we know her.
I think is that her? So very long story short, we have 14 different workshops that we train on. We have 3 different keynotes. We have something called laugh breaks. We have a ton of different offerings that we could bring people to. So, what we do with the show is every month on the show, we use one of our offerings as a theme for the show. For example, this month, the theme is community. And we just launched an amazing new membership community literally today, Rob, called Leadership Playground. So, everything we're talking about on the show is talking about why community is so important. I'm giving you some tips and tricks using improv on how to build community. We're talking about Leadership Playground on the show. We're teeing people up to learn more about it, to talk about why community is so important. So we really use the show as an opportunity to build trust, to
Mhm.
showcase what we're doing without selling it, but we talk about it. And then we bring on guests that match that monthly theme too, that are, just to be honest, that I find very interesting and I think our audience will find interesting. And we have conversations with them too. And so we're using the show as a way to social sell, if you will, what we do in a way that is fun and engaging. And some of the shows are super fun and light. Some are deep and vulnerable. And that's really
Mhm.
what improv is. You're going to get both in a really good improv show. You're going to laugh, you're going to feel some things. It's going to hit you in your childhood, you know. So it's a ride. It's a ride, but that is how we have developed content. And then we use that same approach too with social media. So every content piece there, I don't know if people know it, but we know it is tied to the theme that we're talking about that month. And that's been it's helped us stay on track. It's helped us create content. It narrows it down. It narrows down who we have as guests.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's been fun. We just started this 2 years ago. This is our second year with that strategy,
Mhm.
and it's really helpful.
Yeah, and from my understanding, you're gonna shift to creating more content off of your podcast, right?
Oh, Rob,
And you're
yes.
gonna do some solos and
Oh, I'm
things like
already
that, right?
sweating. Yeah. So that's exactly right. So right now we just do Wednesdays, and we've been doing that. We've played with the format of the show so many times, but
Yeah,
starting in June, we're going to do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays will be, I still do solo shows now,
yeah.
but it'll be like a solo show Wednesday, the following Wednesday, a guest show, a solo show, and a guest show. That'll be our Wednesday format. Tuesdays now will all be guests. And guess what? We're using our peeps from our playground. So, our monthly membership program is going to pull some of these people from the playground onto the Playdate, if you will. And so we'll have coaching conversations with them in real time. And then we're also going to start featuring our facilitators because, as I mentioned, we have 17 awesome facilitators. We've had them on the show in previous years, just not in the past couple. And it's time for them to shine. So it'll be a very well rounded content strategy where we show our team, we showcase thought leadership with the guests that we have on the show. We're hearing solo shows, and we're coaching our clients in real time, and they get a thought leadership piece too that they can take back to their own community. So I'm excited. It'll be more work, but it'll be fun.
Oh, of course, yeah, creating more is always more.
More.
But,
Yeah.
I just had this thought as you were talking about that. You have all these facilitators, right, that have expertise in your area, and maybe each one of them has some unique perspectives on this, and have you ever thought about doing like, maybe a monthly kinda roundtable show where you can bring in, like, maybe 2 or 3 of the facilitators in with you to have kinda like a group chat, of
No,
sorts?
that is genius, and I should do that. On the show, you're saying? You think just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
live? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like,
I'm
I can have
down.
on this live show, I could have 10 people here.
Yes. Genius.
I'm not
I know,
saying that that's not what I'm advocating for here, but I'm just thinking maybe,
have a couple.
if you can involve your facilitators in a topic discussion about something too, you can get a little bit different perspectives on it.
Well,
Yeah.
and they're improvisers. They're so
Yeah.
funny. They're
Well, it
so
would be funny too,
it'll
right.
be funny, and the thing with them is, okay, so most of them would identify as introverted in real life. When you put them on stage and when you get them
Yeah.
together, it is I always say when we go on road trips, and we have done a lot, if we have big group road trips, it's like I'm the ringleader of the circus leading the clown car. Like, I'm literally the clown car circus ringleader, and it's like everyone is trying to make each other laugh. You come home from those trips so fulfilled and so, your heart is full, but so tired and your cheeks hurt from laughing because, like,
Yeah.
everyone is there's a philosophy in improv called yes and. Everyone is yes anding each other to the point that the bits never stop because no one negates each other. Things just keep piling and heightening and going nuts. It's wild and it's fun and it's so silly. And that's literally that's the vibe. Is that's when our team is together and we've recently hired a new person on our team and will never forget. This is our internal team. She said, "This is legit every company's dream to have this culture. It's legit." I love Parks and Rec, one of my favorite shows. It's how they talk about their culture at Parks and Rec. That is Improve It. It's so silly. It is the silliest. They're silly and fun and
Yeah.
smart.
So it looks like in the comments, we're getting some of your community in here posting comments and telling
Oh,
us that they love you
oh,
and
who is it?
that Tracy, I'm not sure of her or
Hi, Tracy.
her last name, and then it looks like Daphne is the other one here.
Hi,
Um,
Daphne.
oh my God, hi!
Oh
So
my gosh,
obviously
hi.
they know each other, and it's probably from your podcast or from your community,
Well,
and
thank you. Thank you.
they
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
they love your energy.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
this is 6 p.m. my time, you know? This is like I'm normally popping a multivitamin at 8 o'clock and retainers. Rob, I did this for you. I'm just kidding.
So are you on the East Coast?
I'm
I
East
think
Coast.
yeah,
Yeah.
you are. Yeah. Yeah, so am I. But
Yeah, you're Connecticut, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're down south, so right.
Yeah, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So it is like 72. I'm looking at my thermometer on my computer. 72. It was like 78 degrees today. I'm so grateful when the sun is out. Oh,
It's been a rough winter even for you down there.
yes.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, it was 76 degrees here in Connecticut yesterday, so
I
it
heard yeah, I just talked to a
that
friend of mine
was
in Boston, and he was like,
that
"It
was
was so
weird.
beautiful." Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had snow last week or something. So I feel it, Rob. It's always sunny somewhere, you
Well,
know?
spring kind of it's like, almost like a renewal of sorts, right? So we're coming out of hibernation.
That's right. It feels like it, and it feels really
Yeah,
good. It really does.
right.
It really does. I had the Lunar New Year, the year of the horse. Have you heard of that concept?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, they said February 17th was when we were done with the year of the snake, which was 2025, and we were still shedding. And I'm gonna tell you, they lied to me because I was still shedding until basically last Friday. Okay. I had a lot of shedding left to do. But now I'm on the horse. I'm ready. Giddy up. Let's go. But it's true. It feels like a new start. It feels really good.
Yeah.
It
Well, I
does.
mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and I was
Mhm.
just curious. I mean, I think, there's a lot of reasons for people to be anxious, have a lot of distrust in the world today. And I think, your approach and your platform will probably continue to expand and accelerate as people are looking for what, what could be called as a breath of fresh air of sorts,
Yeah. Thank you.
and not
Yeah.
so negative and and hurtful that's going on.
Yeah. Do you have I know you know podcasts. You know who just won the Grammy of podcasts? Miss Amy Poehler. It was a
Yeah.
Grammy, yeah? Yeah. So, I love her show, Good Hang, so much, and it's
I think it
exactly
was a Golden Globe, I think is what it was.
Golden Globe,
Golden
not a
Globe, right.
Grammy, that's for music, Aaron.
Yeah, I don't think she's a singer, but that's okay.
She could so, yes, a Golden Globe. That show, she even says, she created because there is so much darkness in this world. She just wanted it to be a place for fun and light and joy. And that's what I tell my team, especially there's a lot of things that happen in the world that bleed over now. I'm just going to be honest with the amount of social media, the amount of media at our fingertips. In my 20s and I'm in my 40s, in my 20s and 30s, it was easier to leave work at work, right? We didn't have all this media at our fingertips. And now we can literally look at the ticker on our news feed and find something out in a second. So work and life and the world are bleeding together. And so my biggest goal internally for my team is to make it a safe space where they feel seen, heard, and valued. And I can have honest conversations with them and say, you know what? I don't know how to fix all this. I don't.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it. But what I do know is that the work that we do matters and that we are the light in this darkness. So I'm doubling down on the light. I am doubling down on love. And I say that in keynotes and in workshops all the time. And leaders look at me, like what she said, love at work. And I'm like, okay, you have two choices. You have fear or you have love. That's it. You're a human. This is work. Work is part of your humanness.
Right.
And this is the choice. And so I really think for me, and I've had to really work with this because I can also go down, the doom scrolling and the shame spirals and I can get in really dark places if I allow myself to. And so what that does is nothing for me personally, for my community. I can't show up and give the way that I need to give to my community, my team, and the people we serve if I'm in a place of fear and if I'm in a place of scarcity. So I really, 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 really work on what we talked about earlier, my thoughts and my words, and then getting myself in the highest version of myself in the right mindset in order. And I really believe this, Rob, I'm like a vessel, man. I'm the instrument. And sometimes I'm just like, tell me what to say, tell me what to do so I can serve the people that I'm in front of. Like even your audience right now, before I came on, I'm like, I just open up my arms and I ask the universe, what do you need me to say? Who needs it? And I just allow myself to go because that's it. That's all I
Yep.
can do. That is legit all I can do and be a good human and do all the and
Yeah.
all the things that are tangible, but from a space of what can I control? It's two things, my attitude and my effort. And
Yeah, I think
I gotta lean into it.
just a second ago, you used the term team.
Mhm.
And I wanted to kinda dig into that a little bit too, because I've been seeing for the last, I don't know, probably the last 3 years or so, or more, this evolution of successful creators, needing to, not because they necessarily want to every time, create teams because
Mhm.
teams, have costs,
Yeah.
they also shift you into a people manager role, which some people just wanna create content, right? They don't necessarily want to manage people at the same time that they're trying to create content. So how important is a team to you right now with what you're doing in the full scope of what you're doing with live events and and your podcast? And you're also doing video too, right? So
Mhm.
how important is the team in being a multi-medium creator, right? Doing shorts,
Oh my gosh.
all these things. It's probably overwhelming for you to think about you doing that for everything yourself.
Rob, oh god, amen. Okay, truly.
Yeah.
I could cry at how lucky I feel to
Mhm.
have my team. Like, I created Improve It. I created this team, and I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
So I have, and I can just share with you what we have internally. So I have a VP of partner experience. She's been with me 9 years, and she
Wow.
started out as an intern. I had this really robust intern program. The thing about, besides being a content creator for a podcast and author and creating content for socials and keynoting, the event side of Improve It is wild. And we get booked. We have to book travel. We have to book logistics. We have to prep the workshop. We have to have client calls. Just to even, that's like after we've booked it. To sell it, we have to have calls. They have to trust us. They have to get a proposal that has to go through their multiple channels of approval. We have to get agreements. We have to get invoices. I was doing all that in the beginning as just the Improve It side, and it almost broke me. It was so much. So then I hired interns to help and slowly sort of release some of that. On top of that, I was managing my facilitators, which at the time was 22 of them. And so finally I was like, I can't do this anymore by myself. Brought in Jenna, and Jenna started helping with the sales side. Christy was also the very first facilitator I ever hired. She is my VP of talent. So she started stepping in as the person who oversees all of our talent for events. She books them, she gets their logistics and travel squared away. She's also the coordinator with the client for all of the logistics. So she handles travel logistics and the team. Jenna handles the sales side and the invoicing and agreements and inbound sales. We have a whole structure for outbound sales. And then here comes marketing, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to do this. Well, that's not true. Right away, I knew I needed a podcast manager. Hired a podcast manager. She's very part-time, but she was also an intern at Improve It years ago. Said, Rachel, I need, and you know Rachel, my Rach. I said, I need a podcast manager, basically your clone. Do you know anybody? She goes, well, I have a full-time job, but I can do it on my nights and weekends. And I said, great. She's been here 5 years, so she's very part-time. We have a beautiful newsletter list. We have all these social channels, as you know, with podcast creation.
Yeah, and you've
so
done
many-
very, very well on your social channels too.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
that
That's
play energy that you have, that you put out in the world, that is very magnetic to people. I
Thank
think.
you. Well, I got Nicole to thank for that. Okay.
Well, it's your personality and the content.
Yeah,
So,
but
right.
she and I share a soul. That's what we
Yeah.
say. We share a soul and a brain. And she and I have created what I just even mentioned to you, the content calendar, the marketing calendar. She helps me with all the behind the scenes things for the show. Rachel helps like with booking guests and connecting with the guests and getting them squared away. And Nicole helps with all the show notes, getting it online, getting it to the editors. We have a graphic designer too, who's part-time, but my full-time team, Christy, Jenna, Nicole, and then we just hired a new people experience partner who helps with inbound or outbound sales and more of a scavenger, so to speak on that. But yeah, it's scary, Rob. I won't lie to you. When things get rough, when budgets are slow to respond, sometimes I'm like, wow, this is a lot. But then I will also tell you, they're the best people, and I wouldn't do it without them. I couldn't. And a big currency for me is time, honestly. And they help me so much. And there's each one of them individually is so good at their job. I mean, so good. And I'm very lucky. Nicole is also an intern who was in her sophomore year at the time. She graduated, did Teach for America. She was looking for a job 2 years later. I was like, come back, please come back. And she's been here going on 4 years. And Christy's been here 11. Rachel's been in the podcast part 6. Kennedy has been my graphic designer for 4. Like we have this like amazing group of women. Honestly, we have male facilitators. We do love them, and our days. We love she, him, they. But it is. I'm very lucky, and I also try really hard to make them feel seen. And the beauty of a small business is that your work directly impacts everything we do.
Yeah.
Everything. So it's wild. When I talk about it, I get hives. No, I'm just kidding.
So I wanted to play the little short video you have off of your website that
Yeah.
kind of shows, you know, your team in action at your live events. So
Let's go.
I'm going to mute the music because I'm sure there's music in this, and I may not have the license to play it. So,
Yeah. Okay.
so let's bring it up and we can play it for everybody.
Oh yeah, and there's probably talking too. But yeah, you can see what it looks like.
We're going to teach you all about our effective communication workshop. Are you ready?
Erin and the team were extremely fun.
The team that was putting it on was incredible, and it kept everybody so engaged.
They just were masterful about making sure that everybody was included, heard, and a part of the process.
They really brought in the energy, and it made me feel really comfortable.
What we're going to do tonight might guide you very gently outside of your comfort zone. And if you can trust us, we promise you we're going to take you to a really cool space.
There's this opportunity to connect with other people who also want to improve in the same areas that I might want to improve. So it's sort of this uniting experience.
What I can take away from this workshop is just really making sure to pay attention to other people's ways of communication.
One person, whoever's going to start it, you're going to say the first word, and from that point, we'll use that last letter of the words going forward.
September.
Rolling.
The yes and exercise. In fact, I've already envisioned using it in a meeting that's upcoming.
We are going to come up with ideas. So the first person is going to throw out the first idea, and from that point forward, we have to yes and in any order.
My favorite exercise was the gibberish.
The gibberish part where you're communicating and you're not even using words.
It's like a perfect mesh of both interest and then also what's kind of needed in professional settings.
I can imagine a lot of my colleagues getting loose and pushing themselves ever so slightly outside of their comfort zone.
Even if we're not going to take improv and run with it and learn it forever, it's good to just put ourselves out there and, be vulnerable.
So many of us don't recognize the impact that we can have on others.
We all need to kind of take a step back and be a child again and really learn how to speak again.
Thank you all.
So that was amazing.
Oh, thanks
yeah.
for doing that, Rob. That was fun. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like to do is, bring in as much visual as I can, but at the same time, it's this balance between because this is an audio and video podcast. So it's both. But I don't know if I have the rights to stream that music, but we shall see in YouTube. That's always the tension of playing somebody else's video. So
Got you.
But that's okay. That's all
Got
right.
you. Well, thanks for taking the risk. Okay, I appreciate
Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, I will take full responsibility. It's my
You
fault,
will.
YouTube. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Right. It's another reality of being a content creator is that, I think we want to play other people's content and stuff on our show as an example, and we should be able to do that. It's just a sampling, but that's not how music rights work.
That's right. That is right. That is right. That is right.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what we saw in that. For those that are listening here and didn't actually see everything on the stream, they could hear what was going on, the testimonials of all sorts of different people in there that were experiencing what you were experiencing. So
yeah, it was
tell
fun.
me about it.
Yeah. First of all, I love so many of those people. And you saw some of my teammates in there as
Yep.
well. So every workshop that we do is the same format, just the content and the activities within each are completely different.
Mhm.
But what I love about what we do, you're not sitting there looking at a PowerPoint, writing in your notebook. It is legit. You are standing up in a U shape around the perimeter in a giant circle.
Yep.
There's no technology except the PowerPoint behind us with very few words guiding us. And literally, you can't hold your phone. You can't be on your phone. You can't be checking email. You're present for the full 2 hours. And no matter what skill, that particular workshop was our effective communication workshop, but we always have an overarching thesis statement. Everything that we do goes through that thesis statement. And then we have improv-based activities that match. So for example, effective communications thesis statement is what you say and what you don't say, how it affects how others listen and respond. So for every little chunk of that thesis statement, we do 2 activities, and the magic happens after the debrief. So we do these what kind of look like silly activities. One of them is called gibberish, one of my favorites. But we always say there's a method to the madness. And so the method is really after we've done the activity, we go back to the giant circle, and then we ask the audience or the participants questions. They're coming up with the answers. So it's not us standing up there. It's very different from a keynote. And a keynote, I'm standing up to the stage talking. I'm still involving my audience. But literally, we are just guiding and facilitating the play in our workshops, which is so incredible to witness. And it's also more memorable for the participant, because then when they come up with the answer, they'll remember it more, right? So we also want them to feel with those activities what we want to teach them. So with gibberish, we were teaching something about body language. We are literally having them speak gibberish, but giving them prompts to greet each other with nonverbal cues. And so what we get them to understand is that even though they were using verbal cues that didn't make sense, their bodies were telling a story the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about the importance of body language at work and what it's like to show up in a Zoom meeting like this, or what it's like to walk into your boss's office like this. There's so many different ways we take the conversations, and we get really clear with our clients too on how we want to customize it based on that group. Fun fact for you too, Rob, and no one likes a bragger. We have successfully coerced over 59,000 people now to chicken dance in our workshops.
Wow. That's quite a milestone that you reached there, Erin.
Guinness Book of World, going for the Guinness. I got to look at what that is. But yeah, it's we whole thing. We used to have a chicken hat pre-COVID that when you say the word improv, you pass it to the person on your right. We all chicken dance when you hear the word improv. Whoever holds the chicken hat at the end is the improv chicken champion. Because of COVID, we got rid of the hat. I have a whole bin of them above my head right now.
So you can get a rubber chicken and just hand it around, and everybody has to,
but then
portray the chicken.
Germs, we thought about it. So now it's just chicken dancing, but people get super competitive with it. People have made t-shirts. We've had people make plaques. We've had we had somebody write a giant LinkedIn post about it one time. Like, people love it, and it's a way to get everybody on the same page and sort of break down those barriers really quickly. And it's not one person doing it in front of the group, it's everybody doing it together. So it's actually a teaching tool within itself.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't know that until they're doing it. And then they
kind
of think about it afterward.
It's the same thing that happens with people, I think, when they go to like an event or something like that, and they are venturous enough to go out on the dance floor and maybe dance or something like that. I always see those people with the biggest smiles on their face.
Yes.
When they're doing that, right? And it's the same thing with what you were doing in that workshop, is that you're getting people out of their comfort zones. You're having them do something that is so different, but yet has a perception of fun and playfulness that most humans or most adults are really kind of phased out of. So you're basically unlocking that childhood experience in people.
That's it. And it's really fun to watch and witness. It's actually like, we call it the aha moment, where people are laughing, they're having so much fun, but then that's right when we swoop in and we teach them. So there's an epiphany through the laughter. It's really great. And I'm not I could never. People are always like, well, what is your plan? Like, what do you want to do with improve it? And I'm like, I don't know what else I would be doing. There's no better job for me.
You're having
than-
way too much fun doing it. So
Yeah.
why not keep it going? Right.
Yeah, like to witness this and to facilitate it is a joy, and it's so cool. It really is. It's really an honor to be able to witness that. For a lot of people who've lost that side of them, I just did this group of women, or facilitated this group of women in Chicago a couple weeks ago. And every woman in that room left hugging each other. And so many of them came up to me after. They were like, I didn't know how like dry my cup was. I really needed my cup filled today. And that's all I needed to hear, because it fills my cup when they say that to me. It fills my cup to do it. It fills my cup to witness it. It's a really special teaching tool. And it's a very collaborative teaching tool. There's not a lot of us, but they're the people that use it as a healing modality, so to speak, or a teaching modality. We're all here for each other, because I truly believe if the entire world took an improv class, this world would be a better place. I really do.
So if you're a creator out there, or you're a presenter, or you do live events or whatever, how would a person think about maybe applying these principles to what they're doing? Or does it fit in every situation?
We are all improvisers. Yes. I mean, yes. And first and foremost, let's just start with that fundamental. Yes, and is the biggest tenet of improv comedy. It means, yes, I hear you, and I'm going to add something to it. So I'm not going to judge what you say. I'm not going to negate it or shut it down. I'm going to listen, postpone judgment, and I'm going to add to your idea. And that's literally how scenes are made on the improv stage. And that's how you can think about your content creation process. What can you yes and that already exists? Who can you reach out to collaborate with and partner with on what they already have, so you're adding to it? And sometimes I think that as content creators, my favorite thing to witness is when content creators come together and collaborate when they could be competitive, because you're already thinking the same things. You're already in the sandbox together. Play. And that's another thing you can take from improv is play. Like, there is a saying, I did not make this up, but I've heard it said that if we measured the amount of success that we have, not by the metric on a scale or on our P&L reports, but through the amount of fun that we are having, that's really the whole point. This is the whole point of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Of not this, us on life, on this earth, that is the whole point, is to come here to learn lessons. But if you're enjoying the ride, just find ways to bring joy to what you're creating. And I get it too. Like, this is episode 600 and something. Is that right? This show? Yes. Okay. I'm on like 340 something. And there are times, Rob, where I'm like, got a podcast today, and I'm, oh, come on. Okay. And I'm like gearing myself up and I got to make
a little
fun.
sore of this. Right.
Yes. And just find,
Yeah.
and so truly I'll find little ways to make it fun for me. And sometimes, I think of the audience always and creating content and what they want. But if I'm not having fun, they're not going to have fun listening or joining, whatever it might be. And so just finding ways to infuse joy. Sometimes it's silly. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to light this candle because it makes me happy, and I'm going to have it on while I'm doing this podcast. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of a show with somebody, I'll ask them a question like, what's your morning routine like? Just to spice it up for me. Or I'll have them do an improv activity with me because I'm feeling like I need a little back and forth action there. It's very simple, but when we miss the fun, we miss the plot.
Yeah. So we have gotten some interesting comments in so diaculting, I think is the right way to pronounce that. How do neurodivergent introverts handle these in-person improv events?
Such a good question. And I'm going to tell you, I have several of them on my team. So I have, I'll use Christy as an example. She's actually very open about this. She has a entire keynote called The Introverted Leader, and she has ADHD. And yeah, she's an improviser.
Right.
And she's our director of talent. She is literally facilitating these. So we come into a room, we know, for example, if we're going into a room of salespeople, mostly extroverts, if we go into a different type of room where we're having everyone from the organization be there, we know we've got combinations of humans. We have worked with engineers, we've worked with roofers, we've worked with software developers. Roofers, by roofers, I mean people who work on roofs, who fix houses. We've worked with CPAs, actuaries. We've named the gamut of classified introvert job. We have legit worked with every single one of them. And I'll tell you the beauty of it. The beauty lies in the fact that it is a take my hand, I've got you experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to guide you gently. And the way that we structure our sessions is that we do a low risk activity to a slightly higher risk to a higher risk. So I always say you're like dipping a toe, then we dip the foot, then we dip the
Take it
leg.
all the way in eventually.
Yeah, then we go all the way in. And we always say, if we set that tone in the upfront that this is a safe space, just by contributing, we are going to say thank you. There's no way to fail here. And that's one of the other rules of improv. You can't fail. There are no mistakes, only gifts is one of the biggest rules. So we spend about 15 minutes in the upfront really setting that tone for everybody, creating that safe space. And then again, it's that low risk to the end. And I'll tell you what, it's beautiful to witness people.
Do you
who
start
never-
out slow with little things and then you
Mhm.
get progressively more
Yeah.
provocative in the
Yeah.
games that you're playing?
And
Yeah.
I'll ask the groups at the end, did you ever think you were going to walk in and do what you just did today? And all of
Right.
them say,
Especially in
no,
front of all these
never.
people, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, as facilitators, we are trained, and I've had in 11 years, one person who was very uncomfortable. And I sat with her, we had a conversation. I was like, you just want to go? And she goes, yeah. And I said, okay. And I gave her a big hug. And that was, but we make it this space of positivity and yes. And you don't have to contribute, but we celebrate your contributions. And there's a lot of partner activities. So it's not, everybody's not looking at you when you're doing this. There's a lot of small group activities. And then we do large debriefs. So you can jump in and answer or not. But I think what everyone finds themselves doing in these scenarios, here's what I find. Introverts do better in improv because they're better listeners. And improv is all about listening to respond or to understand versus respond, and being in the moment and being present.
It's just getting through that wall of being open to something that maybe they wouldn't normally be open to. Right.
Totally. And I will tell you that there was something I was going to say too. There was the introverted piece. It's really just us taking your hand through a journey and you trusting yourself first and just knowing that this is going to better you, but it will go from lower risk to higher risk. And like I said, in 11 years, one person really was uncomfortable, and that was okay. And that's okay. That's, and
it's probably always okay. Right.
It's always okay. It's always okay. So we make, and our facilitators, like I said, are just great humans, so empathetic, so loving.
Yeah.
And we make it a space that you will feel comfortable to share and to have fun. And really, it's hard not to have fun when everyone's having fun around.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It kind of pulls you in.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love
we got
that
another comment too from Michaela Salcido, I think is the right way to pronounce that. It says, what are your thoughts on code switching? Do you feel like there is a fine line between code writing and clear, confident communication? I don't know. Can you decipher that?
Yeah. Michaela, can you comment on this for us? When you say code switching, you're talking about when you're at work, you're one person, and then you code switch when from the person you are at home. Can you just comment on that?
I think
make
that's what she's talking
Okay.
about, I think. Yeah. But
Yeah,
but
okay.
yeah, I mean,
Is there a fine line
Right.
between code writing and clear, confident communication? So when we're talking about writing, this is different than I think when we're talking about our verbal cues.
I think maybe what she's talking about is how you rewrite her code
Oh.
or that person's code of
Michaela, give us an
some
answer.
clarification on that.
Yeah,
Right.
we need some
Yeah.
clarification. But I love these questions.
Yeah.
They're so good. And I loved the question too about neurodivergent introverts. That was such a beautiful question, truly. And I'm so glad you asked it. So thank you. Let's get the answer back from Michaela. I love these questions. This is a fun platform, Rob.
Yeah, it's StreamYard is what it is.
I've used StreamYard a couple times. Okay, Michaela, we're waiting for you. We're stalling. Do you see what we're doing here? We're stalling. Yes. Having to dial down your self-expression. Okay. Right. Michaela, I like to use exclamation points. Shocking to 0 people.
Yeah, you do. It's actually in your brand of your
it's in
company.
Improve It.
Yeah, right.
Michaela, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say this to everybody. Find the people, find the company, find the boss, find the team where you can let yourself be you. Okay, we're getting that same question again. Yes. Okay.
So, no, I'm just pulling up again because they're related to each other, right?
Yes. So
code writing was a typo.
I just had this conversation.
Code switching is what she meant to write.
Got you. Okay, now we're here. Got you. So I just had this conversation very recently with my husband, and I will say this. Remember how I told you I was doubting myself for a while, a little bit earlier? This is going back to the year of the snake comment. I was truly in a moment of self-doubt for the past few weeks. There's times as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, you can get in your own head, and I was in my own head. And what he said to me, I'll never forget this. He is an amazing human. He said, what is really beautiful is that you have created a life and a career fully based on who you are. He goes, when I go to work, I'm not fully me all the time. And he's like, you're fully you. And so, Michaela, I want to give you this. I know you might be in a job right now where that feels hard. I want to give you the permission slip, and anybody listening today, to own you. This is your permission slip to be you. And guess what? The right team, people, humans around you will fall in line. And then if you are fully you and you're not able to fully, if you are hiding parts of you and not able to fully express who you are in whatever role you're in, I want to give you permission to start looking for a new job or new people in your life, because it's too hard. Code switching is too hard. It's so much easier. Like, I could not sit here and can I swear on this show?
Sure.
Okay. I'll say BS just for YouTube. Okay. I couldn't sit here on this show.
Yeah, that's only a 2-letter word, so it can't be swearing.
Okay. There you go. Well, there you go. I couldn't.
It's actually an acronym. It's not even a word.
There you go. That's your acronym. I'm saving the ratings. So, but I'm, truly, it's so much harder to not be you. And when you find people and spaces, and I say this too, and I'll say this from a friend perspective and a professional perspective, you are welcome. I will say this. I have been booked on stages before where somebody has booked me and I haven't talked to them first. And I was told to dial down.
Drop that enthusiasm, right, Erin?
Yeah. They were
dial
like,
it down a little bit.
You're going to need to tone it down a bit. That's what they literally said to me. The check had been sent and the event was next week. You're going to need to dial it down a bit for this group. And I was like, thank you. And so That was the worst keynote of my life. I was so in my head. I wasn't myself. So I always now meet people before
Mhm.
I sign
Yeah,
anything, and I'm like, "Look, I can change content. I can say different things
right.
if we need to customize this, but I can't change this. Like, this is what you're getting. You're buying all of this, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be communicating with all of this because it's so hard to
Yeah.
switch."
You
And,
know, why
like,
would you wanna mute the benefits?
yeah, it's so
Right.
hard. And Michaela, all my peeps listening here, listen, there are people out there who will love all of you, and they will embrace all of you and run like HE double hawks to those people. Yeah, dialing down your self-expression is really hard, Michaela, and I wanna just give you permission right now to find the friendships because 'cause they're out there waiting for you. When you specifically know what you want, call that in, you will find them, and when you ask yourself, "Who do I want to be around? Who do I wanna work for? Where do I wanna work? How can I bring all of this out?" I promise you that is the place you will stay because it's so hard to try to be anything else other than what you were literally put on this earth to do. Like, this self-expression was given to you as a gift. Use it.
Yeah. Daphne Shepherd, posted a comment here, it's on the screen, "Full expression," with a
Yeah.
smiley face. Yeah.
Yeah. Get
So
out there, Daphne.
so speaking of full expression, there's a lot of spectrum there, right? Of free expression, but I think what you were trying to accomplish with what your platform and your message is that it's a full expression of a human, positive look forward, right? There's a lot of negative expression too.
Yeah.
So, what's the approach that you have if a person has a negative expression orientation to their existence? How do you pull them out of that? And it may not be possible for some, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, we are all human. Here's some facts. Ready? This is actually like a scientific fact. You are welcome, Michaela. Thank you for being here. So, this is a study from the National Science Foundation. They
Mhm.
literally studied humans and thoughts, and we have 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Of those 50 to 80,000 thoughts, we think what are called thought worms, and we think 6,200 thought worms a day. Let me ask you this, Rob, and everybody on the call. Of those 50 or of those 6,200 thought worms, what percentage of those thoughts do you think are negative?
My gut would be that probably most of them.
80, yeah, 80%.
Yeah, right.
80%, and then of that 80%, we are repeating the same negative thoughts 95%
Yeah,
of the time.
it's the probably most people have this negative self-talk that's going on in their head constantly,
Totally.
and self-doubt and the
Yep.
perspective, "Oh, I can't do that," or "It's too uncomfortable. I don't wanna take that step in my life." Yeah.
It goes back to the thoughts and then the words and then the actions, and so I always say this to people, we would never say some of the things we say to ourselves to our best friends, to our children, to
Well,
people we
some
love.
do though, probably.
Some do, right. But, like, I'm harder on me than I would ever be to my little boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so hard to myself. I've really worked on that. And so I
Yeah.
actually have a talk about that. That's my new talk. It's called Human Leadership in the Age of AI. And that really helps us rewire those thoughts or AKA those different inputs we put in. And I use tools from the improv stage. So I have something called New Choice. And I can
Yeah.
teach it to you right now. But we literally, like, I have it becomes a pattern disruption that then gives you a new statement. So that negative thought is your scarcity statement. We turn it into an abundance statement. So that abundance statement becomes the thought that you keep repeating 95% of the time. But literally and I mean every person who is saying things out loud that are negative has thought about 100 more negative things to themselves before they've said it out loud. So it literally starts with our own LLMs, our own AI, ChatGPT, whatever, Claude, whatever we want to call it. it starts off with the reprogramming here, because if it's here, it's going to come out here or on a keyboard or wherever. But it
So
has
really
for program.
fundamentally, that's what you're doing with your platform, is you're helping people maybe start to think a little bit differently and evolve into a more positive mindset.
That's it. And that truly so Improve Its mission, we have our own mission, but I'm going to tell you my life mission. My life mission is to find the light in you and then help you raise it.
Right.
And do that through this mindset work, through my vessel is comedy and improv activities and experiential learning. And I truly, that's why improv is such a great teaching tool, because you can't get on stage in front of hundreds of people and make things up without thinking thoughts that are going to allow you to do that. You can't get up there and you can't have so much self-doubt and then stand on stage and be present with your ensemble for a full hour and come up with something that's so beautiful and artistic in front of people, in front of however many humans, without believing in yourself first and believing in the power of your mind and the ability to do that. So it's all about mindset work. And that's really where I'm starting with this human leadership is, if you want to be the leader you want to be led by, you've got to pour into you first and give to you and really change the programming here so that you can be the leader that your team, your or association, your family, everyone's a leader in some way. Your community needs you to be. And it's not pretty. I'm going to tell you, I did my own work for a few years and it was ugly and gross. And I cried like ugly Kim Kardashian tears. And I was just sobbing for days. But I also, I have continued the work. It is a continuous process. And I will tell you that when you change your beliefs, when you believe, you receive. So when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. And I didn't say that. Wayne Dyer said that. So when you change the way you look at things, it will literally change your world around you. You'll start. There's also something, and I don't even know who said that words are wands. So what we say is literally like we're like a fairy creating our world in real time.
Yeah.
And that's part of what my keynote teaches. And so I created all these workshops, and I've, we've trained our team to do them. I do some workshop facilitation now, but really I'm getting on these keynote stages and I'm talking to rooms. I love all rooms, love rooms filled with women. They're just like my jam. But I love all rooms. And it's really eye-opening for me to see in these rooms how many people don't talk kindly to themselves. How many people I've had women and men cry in these rooms because we do this activity that has them really examine the meanest scarcity statement that they say to themselves every day. And then we reframe it. But it starts here. It starts with what we're putting in here and how we're communicating with ourselves, with our own LLM.
Yeah. So how do we take that and apply it to creators out there? And that, because it feels like the world needs more positive thinking, and I think all of us could benefit from it. It's just a matter of, are we in a mental place to accept it? Maybe our life experience is so hard and difficult and full of challenges that it's almost maybe hard to comprehend the ability to actually get there. So
yeah, I mean, and everyone has got their own story, everyone's on their own journey, and I honor that. And I guess for me, if I could be helpful in any way to any content creator listening out there, it's really just when you feel that feeling of comparisonitis, or you're looking at somebody in your field's work and you're thinking, how did they do that? Get yourself off the consumption and allow yourself to create more than you consume. because what happens, I do it too. I've done it for years, is comparison is the thief of joy. You're robbing yourself of your gift. What I told Michaela, you were literally given the gift of you for a reason. So when we consume, I think what we are doing subconsciously is comparing ourselves. So really allowing yourself a time frame that you will consume other people's content. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe 15
Yeah.
minutes. Supporting other creators is important when you consume. I think I always try to comment and like, because I know what it's like to not get comments and likes. I know, I've been there. I've gotten 0 likes on multiple things that I've posted over these years, and that's okay. But keep going and keep creating. And in that creation, find the joy of who you are and bring that forth. Don't code switch, bring forth you, and the right people will find your art and your creativeness and your what you're here to bring us informative. They will also just oh, I love that. Support is silent. It needs to be loud. That's right, Diet Coke. It is. It needs to be loud. The fact that somebody decided to put something out there is an act of greatness. Like, we should celebrate that. It takes so much courage to be a content creator today because there's so much content out there. It takes so much courage to press post or hit record on this microphone, but it's reps. And like, Rob, you're like living proof of that. It's reps. And the more you do it and the more you fail doing it, the more times you get back up, your rebound rate, that's what it's all about. And that's when I mean, like, I would never, I mean, I will. If somebody tied me to a chair, I would listen to it. But to go back and listen to the first episode of our show, my show,
Painful, huh?
you would you would have to give me something to drink and time to, I would be like, okay, because it's cringy, but cringe is where the courage comes out. And
Yeah. Well, you get better with the reps, right?
Yeah. And it's like, before I was a creator, I consumed and I would listen to the creators and this is what they said. And I literally believe it because now it's like, how do you, and thinking of your platform in your creativity as a service to the world is another thing.
So not to be too formulaic about this, but
yeah,
what is your thought on the best approach with your content right now in this climate that we're in right now, so much uncertainty and fear, and AI threatening people and what they see as their future and all this stuff is, and obviously the content that you're doing online with this playfulness and thinking more positive thoughts, it seems to be resonating with people. I see thousands of likes on your short videos and your posts on the social platforms, and it seems to be working and reaching people. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think for us, we have found a rhythm with our voice. And I say our because Nicole and I really work hand in hand in that.
It's a team thing.
It's a
helping.
team thing.
Right.
Yeah, we come up with ideas and then we come up with scripts and then she writes them, I edit them, we collaborate on them, and then I record them and she edits them. So I'm telling you, this is like, some people spend all day working on their content and I literally batch it in a day. I can literally record all of that in a day, in 4 hours, and then that's it for the month. But our approach is really, we are very specific on who our audience is. We know them. We have a name for them, and we know well, I'll tell you, their name is Kimmel. We call them Kimmel. We know where Kimmel plays. We know where Kimmel hangs out. We know what Kimmel likes, and we know what we also study what Kimmel's head is thinking. We have something called Get in Kimmel's Head every week in our Thursday meetings. And Nicole's really awesome. She finds articles about, most of our people are HR, talent dev, L&D, but they're humans. They're humans who are leading people. And we are looking at, what are they struggling with? What are some of the themes that they're worried about? what are some of the things they're thinking, and then we try to make our content be a painkiller, not a vitamin, to what they need.
So how did you gather that intelligence about your audience? Did you do surveys? Is it the people that turn out to your in-person events? Is it it's probably a combination of those.
Same. And we've been doing events for years, so the name Kimmel is actually from one of our favorite clients that we've had over the years. And then it's also, her name is Kim. And then Rachel is our podcast manager. And so it spans like early careers, mid-manager. Now Kim over the years has gotten into senior management. So it's literally, it's a combination. That's where the name came from. But yeah, we know that when we work with clients in corporate America, it's mostly HR departments, learning and development, talent development leaders. So we knew, these are who usually work with us and want our services. And then it sort of expands to any business owner or leader who leads teams. And where we really pull the data is we go to all kinds of HR events and leadership events, and we connect with those people. We find articles. Nicole's also in grad school right now for organizational psychology. So that is a plus. We're learning a lot. I say I don't know everything she knows, but we learn a lot together. We share a soul though, Rob. So I do know everything.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's for us, we narrowed down where they live. It's mostly where our facilitators are, but they're major cities with big offices. And they have, they're big enough companies that they have L&D arms, learning and development arms. So it's a hodgepodge of data, but we've really narrowed it down, and it's been an evolution. We did not, year 1, 2, 3 did not have this data, but
yeah,
we've been around 10 plus years. So it's gotten there, definitely gotten there.
So you've created kind of like profiles of your target audience. So things that are important to them would be kind of the area that you point towards, I would imagine. But
yeah.
Erin, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was great to have you with me and to talk about this topic that takes me off of the AI bandwagon a little bit and gets more focused on the human side and the human psychology. Because in a lot of ways, that's kind of what you're doing, is that you're using human nature to help bring people back to their center, right?
That's it.
And it's not an easy thing to do because the world is so negative right now in a lot of ways, and that's so appealing to many. Like we said earlier, it's the negative things that draw people's attention. So positive things are proven in the research not to draw so much attention. So the fact that you're gaining attention from positivity and joy and things like that is a real testament to your ability to connect with others. And
thank you, Rob. Yeah. Next time I'm here, we're going to talk about that, because there's some science behind that, my friend. We'll talk about that. But
I'm sure that you've dug into that a little bit and mapped it to your personas that you're trying to work with, right?
It's interesting. It is interesting. But I'm so grateful. Like, you have created a beautiful platform and are just such a pillar in this media world for me to follow. So I'm grateful for your knowledge and just having me. Thank you for everybody who tuned in too, and the questions. It was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to watch this conversation as a podcast, it's available on Apple Podcasts as an audio and video experience. So, and it's also available off of the newmediashow.com website. There'll be a whole post in there and links to the audio and video that you can come back anytime to watch our conversation. So, and learn from it. And I'll have a lot of notes in there about what we talked about. So you'll be able to tap into that too. And links to Erin's website and all of the fun things that she's doing with her podcast. So Erin, thank you so much tonight. And everybody out there, thank you for being here with me. It's great to have you here. This show is also streamed live on my YouTube channel. right now. So some people are watching it over there right now. Some people are not. They're watching it on LinkedIn or X or Facebook or any of those platforms right now, or have this show available right now. And it will be on instant replay too. So if you only caught half of the show or something like that, you can go back and watch the whole thing after the show's over. So thank you so much, and good night, everybody. Okay.
Good night.
Bye.